So, I'm quitting ZZZ. Now, if you're coming here to argue or thinking I'm gonna be overly negative, I'm not. Right? I'm not here to be overly negative of ZZZ. I just want to tell people why I've quit ZZZ and probably why I won't make content on it anymore. Basically, I'm just tired of it. It's not that it's bad, but it's not good enough for me to want to play it on a daily basis. I've already said this in one of my first reviews I made when I first started playing ZZZ, which is that I'm a casual gacha player, right? Like, sure, I'll build up all these characters and I'll be pretty dedicated for 1 or 2 games, but I simply cannot dedicate myself to all these different gacha games, right? Like, it gets to a point where it feels like too much, and it almost feels like a job. Like, I'm wasting my time. Like, I don't want to spend an hour of my day every day solely on these gacha games, because it kind of burns me out. It's like I'm doing all these dailies on all these different gacha games, and maybe for some people that brings them more enjoyment, but for me personally, it's a bit too saturated, the circle of gacha games I'm playing right now is. So I already quit Genshin, right? So I'm gonna quit Zenless Zone Zero now, and I think the main 2 games I'm gonna cover are Honkai Star Rail and Wuwa, because these are the 2 gacha games that I enjoy the most out of everything, right? So I simply not gonna force myself to keep playing Zenless Zone Zero. I gave it a fair shot. I'm like Internaut 37. I've cleared Shiyu Defense 9. And I mean, that's about it. I've tried Ellen. I have some teams. I have M6 Sokaku. It just ended up not being for me, right? Nothing negative. It just wasn't good enough to me compared to Honkai Star Rail and Wuwa to keep me in there, in that circle, right? I've been noticing a pattern that I think soon the gacha space is going to get a little too saturated, which, don't get me wrong, is a good thing to an extent. But I'm not gonna, play all these different gacha games at once forever, because I think for content creators, at some point for content creators, it is gonna get even worse and worse, like their grind and shit. Because now we have, you might have seen that new game, Neverness to Everness, from Hada Studio, which is the studio that made Tower of Fantasy, and it looks very, very promising. And we also have Azure Promelia, very, very promising. We also have Project Mugen. I haven't watched the trailer in like a year, so I don't actually remember all that much. But I do remember it was like kind of promising. So we're having all these gacha games suddenly come out, and there's a ton of competition, and I simply don't want to burn myself out of gacha games. Because if I do that, then I know I will take a long break from also making videos and games in general. And I don't want that to happen, right? So I'm just going to play the 2 games that I mostly enjoy, and yeah, so on. I think where ZZZ kind of lost me was the TVs. I know for a lot of people, I made a video on the TVs a while ago and how it annoyed me, and I played it in the background, how most of the story commissions were TVs and not combat. And there were some people in the comments expressing how they actually liked the TVs and it was like something new that they enjoyed. And, there's nothing bad about that, right? But it simply isn't my cup of tea. I'm more of a combat-oriented guy and strategy-oriented guy. So Wuwa fulfills the combat aspect, and Honkai Star Rail fulfills my story and strategy. What was I saying? Like, why do I always forget what I'm saying? But basically, I like Honkai Star Rail's story and the strategy that goes into the combat and blah, 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 blah. And I play Wuwa for combat. So I don't really need another gacha game. Like, there isn't really any other gacha game that can fulfill me right now. These 2 are like the titans for me, like the 2 titans of gacha. And, I mean, yeah. Just want to make a quick video because I'm just not interested in ZZZ anymore, so I likely won't make any more content on it. I know I made a video saying I was gonna save for Jane Doe, but like, shit just changes, man. And one day you wake up and you realize, like, damn, like, I'm really not enjoying this or having fun doing this, so I'm just not gonna make ZZZ content anymore. It probably is a bunch of free content, being able to play that many gacha games at once, but then I lose all enjoyment. and like my reactions come off fake. So I'm not gonna do that because I don't want to be a fake. Like I don't want to turn into that. I want to be my true self. Give you guys like how I truly feel in the moment, my true enjoyment, how I truly feel, and yeah, that's how it's gonna be going forward. So now it's just Wuwa and Zenless Zone Zero. My Jinchi is dead, man. I didn't even realize my Jinchi is dead. I need to do my dailies as well before it resets, because it resets at like 4 or 5 in the morning. But yeah, so I wanted to talk about Honkai Star Rail a little bit while I'm in here. Ling Sha looks so good. Like that design is really good, and I'm kind of saving for her right now. By the way, the reason I always play Wuwa in the background is because of the free roaming capability. I may talk at times about different gacha games while playing Wuwa, simply because I just love like the map. It's so beautiful, man. You know what I wish this game had? I wish it had ray tracing. I've seen a video of someone modding the game with ray trace shaders. The reason I don't do it is because you can get banned if you end up getting found out. Apparently that's very rare and very uncommon, but I still just wouldn't risk it. So, but I think this game would look so beautiful with ray tracing, and I hope they add it in the future, because I definitely play it. Like even if I weren't able to run stable FPS, like the game is just so beautiful that I might think it's worth it. Like imagine this, like this scene right here. Imagine this, but with ray tracing and like the shaders. I know it'd go so crazy, man. I know it would. But I'm currently saving for Ling Sha and Fei Xiao. I was gonna quit Honkai Star Rail, and I made a video before on how I have no enjoyment for Honkai Star Rail. But that's because of how ass the 2.4 characters were. Like if you see in Zhao Q and Yun Li, and also how they got treated in like their kits, from what I've seen, like if you've seen the leaks, I mean they just got they got nerfed like version after version after version after version, and they lost like half their value, right? Zhao Q is now like, he's just dog shit, man. He's not a best in slot at all in the dog team, so there's no point in putting him in any dog teams unless, what is this? So there's no point in putting him in any... Bro. I'm guessing I'm supposed to shoot this, so let me do that. But yeah, he doesn't fit in dot teams at all because he simply isn't good enough, which is what they originally did to him, or what they did to him after his original kit. His original kit was basically like this OP-ass support for Acheron. And then they made his original kit significantly worse for Acheron, and then added DOT. But if you already have Kafka and Black Swan, you don't need another DOT unit. Like, he just doesn't fit in there, because you want Kafka, Black Swan, Ruan Mei, and then you want to sustain. And that's how it goes, right? So he got nerfed to all hell, and now he's like comparable to a Gwenaifen and a Pela in terms of damage. Holy shit. Like Gwenaifen, I'm not even kidding. From what I've seen, Gwenaifen does more damage than him, which is so pathetic. Like, they really fucked up his kit badly. Bro. And so Yun Li also got nerf after nerf, but I think her nerfs weren't as bad, so she's still like a viable DPS, but she's not good enough or enough better than Don, like Imbibitor Lune Don Hung, for me to actually like want to get her. Like, both of these are non-standout units, right? Like, both of them you just don't need on an account and can be easily replaced by future DPSs or future Nihility characters. And so I was like, okay, I'll save for E2S1 Acheron whenever she ends up getting her rerun. But then 2.5, the drip market came around, and Fei Xiao seems to be a break hunt character, which is good, right? She's just like Boot Hill, but for wind. Now, some people are speculating she might be like more support oriented and like buffing another break DPS, and less about like big dig damage like Boot Hill. But I hope her damage is at least like comparable to Boot Hill, because then it'd be really nice. Because you can run what, Firefly, Fei Xiao, because they're both fire, so they both do damage for break. And then you can also, not Fei Xiao, sorry, Ling Sha. Ling Sha is fire abundance, and they can both do damage for break. And then Fei Xiao could do like some crazy single target damage, which I'm really, really looking forward to. And then I'm guessing you run either hyper carry with Ruan Mei, or you run no, that'd be duo DPS with Ruan Mei, right? Yeah, that'd be duo DPS. And then what else? Oh wait, no, you don't need abundant. I keep forgetting. I've seen Linksha's kit and she does damage, so sometimes I get confused and assume that she's like some type of attack character, but she is abundance and she can heal. So it's not hyper carry because she's a healer. But yeah, basically they both seem to be very broken because break is broken. Break is the most broken new mechanic in the game right now because of Super Break and Harmony MC. And it makes me very excited to have two break teams, because crit stats are so fucking annoying to get on relics. I realized this after farming for break relics on my Firefly. I was able to get her a full thing of relics, albeit not the best, right? Almost every piece only has 2 rolls on average, but it still works well, which is what matters. For crit, you need to get your crit rate up to at least like 70% before you can start consistently seeing like high damage numbers consistently. And you also need a pretty high amount of crit damage. And it fucking sucks. And why I'm more excited for Fei Xiao and Ling Sha is because I'm completely skipping 2.4, meaning I actually have the opportunity. I also have a guarantee on my character banner right now. I have the opportunity to get their Lycones, which are most likely going to have break effect on them, right? Like, since they're both break oriented, they're both going to have break effect Lycones, which I can then use in the future for future units or them, like just straight up. Break effect is literally all you need for these units. It makes them so much more viable, so much more investment friendly. Like, that's why I got Firefly. My Firefly with mid-ass relics can still do 100 to 200k without Ruan Mei. Like, my Don Hung just isn't doing the same. And he has more investment than I put into my Firefly. He simply just doesn't have high enough crit rate, and his traces are currently only at level 8. So I'm waiting for that. I'm excited. I'm not sure if I'm going to end up running Firefly and Fei Xiao on the same team, because if I had E1 Firefly, I would, because E1 Firefly no longer spends skill points on her enhanced attack. But Fei Xiao, without E1, Fei Xiao is also seeming to be a DPS. So I feel like I might run out of skill points too fast. Unless Ling Sha ends up having some mechanic that helps her recover skill points, I don't see any point in that. What I'm praying in the best case scenario is that... What's her name? Oh, fuck. Why do I always forget? I always forget, man. Oh yeah, Fei Xiao. I'm hoping Fei Xiao is another crit-oriented break DPS like Boot Hill, so that I can use Sparkle on the team and replace my Dill, right? So basically what I do is put Ling Sha on my Firefly team and replace Gallagher. Or I actually might still run Gallagher on that team, because Gallagher is still very useful with his break effect like applications. I don't have Ruan Mei, by the way. That's why I'm saying that. And then I run a Fei Xiao Sparkle. I don't have Branya. Fei Xiao Sparkle. Ooh. I'm pretty sure attack. Does attack apply to break effect? If it does, I'd probably run Ting Yun as well. And then I'd run someone else, right? But basically, that's how I want it to go. I hope she's a crit-oriented break DPS like Boo Hill, who gets crit off of the amount of break effect she has. If not, then, you know, we'll still see how it goes, right? I'm sure I'll still be able to build a team, because I have so much free time skipping 2.4 that by the time 2.5 comes, I'll have all my characters built, like all my main characters. My Don Hung, my Sparkle, my Firefly, my Gallagher, my Harmony MC. I'm going to have all of them super built. And then after that, I'm just going to wait for, what's her name? I'm gonna wait for someone who replaces Harmony MC. Now, I'm not even completely sure someone like that will ever come around, but if we get like a Bronya character, but oriented around Super Break, like they give Super Break to an ally, and then maybe also increase like their speed and their break effect to do more damage, I think it's possible, but I don't think it's likely. But if it does happen, it'd be huge. Like, it'd change everything, and you'd be able to use Harmony MC on other Super Break teams, which would be very nice, very convenient, right? Because Super Break is just the most broken mechanic right now. It's stupid fucking broken. But yeah, just a quick talk on what I plan to do for Honkai Star Rail. Why I'm quitting ZZZ. Nothing negative towards the game, it just wasn't for me. I enjoy Wuwa and what's it called, Honkai Star Rail more, and yeah. Hope all of you are having a beautiful day. Let me know how your day's going, you know. How was your morning? How was your night? You know, how's life going in general? You know what I'm saying? Have a good day. Have a good night. And peace.